Assalamu alaikum everyone. I am Manahil Ramar Jawwali and I am delighted to have the opportunity to host today's interview. We have a very special guest with us, someone whose work is truly inspiring and impactful. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to uh, Michael Sillion. So, who hails from Sweden? Today, we have the privilege of delving into his remarkable journey, gaining insight into the incredible work they do. So, without further ado, let's begin this conversation and discover the story behind their journey and the meaningful contribution they are making to our world. So, welcome, sir. How are you?
Hey, thank you. I'm good. It's a sunny and warm day here in Sweden, so it's still the last of summer before the winter comes here. So,
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Sir, please introduce yourself self for my viewers.
yeah, so I'm Michael Sillion, and I'm being called Captain Future by my friends, and I took it upon myself to explore how I can become Captain Future, the role and the title, like how did it become my authentic identity. So that's what I've been doing for the last 12 years.
All right, great. That's awesome. Thank you so much for your introduction. Okay, now let's move on to questions. My first question is what
Yeah.
what your organization aim to achieve?
Yeah, Future Navigators is a collaboration between me, Bartola Berswan, and Carl McFall. You talked to Bartola this weekend, I guess. So, me and Bartola has been working together with the concept of how do you navigate our way into the future. And as Captain Future, my role is taken from Buckminster Fuller's call out 50 years ago, where he wrote a book called Operating Manual for Spaceship Earth, that we have to see our planet as a spaceship going around the sun, and if it's a ship, like a sail ship, you have to have a crew. We're not just passengers on this ship. You have to act as a crew. That means taking responsibility for the ship that is the planet. And as such, I am Captain Future. I take responsibility for the narrative and the direction we take into the future. So that's who I am.
All right, great. Thank you so much for your answer. Okay, now let's move on to next question. You are used prompt lifelong learning and connection among thought leaders.
Yeah. So the Navigator Weaver role is a two-part role of a new role in society that we need to do full time in large amount in networks of people doing this together. So in essence, a weaver is someone who connects the dots, connect people, connects thoughts, connects leaders and strategies and narratives and stories and innovation and companies and institutions and all that. And a navigator is someone who explores and makes sense of the world. And when you connect these two activities together, you get the role of weaver navigator that that explores how complex society works. Because as we now live in a global society with internet and information and so much information and new science articles and new YouTube videos and new podcast every day. How do you make sense of so much information about what it is to be alive today? And we constantly push the boundaries. We have explored the DNA, we explored space, we explored like what the small subatomic particles when you in CERN and other colliders, but we also explore what it is to be human, what it is the experience of consciousness and how does human motivation work and things like that. And we take all that together. Who is the people who spend their day making sense of all the science reports and all the videos that are produced, not just producing them themselves, but actually take it in and connect them together to understand where we're going. And that's the part I do.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for your answer. typically cover in your episodes?
Yeah, so Captain Future show is the name of my podcast. It was first called the Future Pod or Framtidspodden in Swedish, but I quickly switched to English when I understood that I have to go out in the world. So I went out in the world in 2016 and traveled to San Francisco, and I've been to many countries all over the world since, talking to people about how do we co-create the future. So I went to Pakistan with Rehan for a month. I've been in Japan and Singapore and Ukraine and Berlin and London and Greece and other places like this to explore how the world looks. So that was my journey from 2016 and forward. And Captain Future Show was the podcast and the YouTube show I hosted while I traveled.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for your answer. So my next question is, in your role as the former innovations leader at Warbage Common, what were some of the notable innovations or initiatives you led during your tenure?
Yeah, so innovations leader is another word. It's a innovationsledare in Swedish. It's another word that is used for the role of the Weaver Navigator. There's also like the middle ground leader and stuff like that. It's someone who connects silos and connects organizations that isn't employed by a specific organization. So I started doing that as I created a meeting place in my former hometown Varberg here in Sweden. It was a combined meeting place for innovation, a makerspace, a hacker club for kids, and things like that. So I ran that project for 1.5 years, and I learned a lot about how do you make it on a small scale in a small city. And then after that, I went out into the world and explored how this was done all over the world, and also. So I can't hear you. Yeah, I can read a question. There's no audio from you, but yeah, the Evolution Leadership was a program that Fyodor and Manuel put together that I went to meet in San Francisco in 2016, and I jumped onto this program. It's related to Otto Scharmer's and Peter Senge's Fear You and ULab concept in leadership, and for that, like it's as a holistic project as possible. How do you understand how everything is connected in society, humans, institutions, narratives, cultures, and things like that. So we explored a lot of that, and that's also what I've been doing in my latest project to explain a learning society. What is a society? How does society work? How does society learn? Like all the individuals, but also all the knowledge that we have collectively together. Things that started with libraries thousands of years ago, but today is mostly done on the internet. I still no audio from you. Yeah, we came up with a framework and a map for future navigation that includes 4 different activities that you can do on a local scale in a city or an organization and things like that. And we call them. We came up with novel name for them that I've since explored since that. But the basic concept is to navigate the society. You first make sense of it, but then if you want to make things happen, can have 4 strategies or group of activities that we group together in 4 activities that connected called eventification, journification, unification, and enableification is the current name of these. And I have them in my presentation. I will share a link to everyone interested if you want to see me explore them further. But the key concept is everything today's society is an event. A work day is an event. And this meeting is an event. Uh, uh, and me saying a sentence is an event, me eating having me dinner is an event, so everything is an event. But when we think about it, it's like the meaningful event to think about is like conferences, work days, work years, and things like that. And if you have to manage these you have to make them better. So we have to work with strategies to make every meeting and every conference and every workday better. In that essence, we know bad events and we know good events. So why aren't all events good when we know the difference? And journification is the name we give for every person to have a learning journey for life. From you're born till you die, you have a journey when you learn things, you do things, and preferably you seek wisdom. That is the insight and knowledge of how yourself work and society work and the earth work. But not all people pursue that. So that is like a method to facilitate people's journey for life. And then what we have, what we call unification, the insight that if we are a social species, and if we are going to make it as a social species, we have to connect all the people's journeys together. We do that through events. So all these four things are connected. So event, conference, things like conference and learning journeys and things like that are perfect example how you unify people together in communities, collaborations. Our current way of doing this is, of course, through organizations like companies and or institutions that employ people, and then you have an organizational structure to make that happen. But many people seldom go outside of that structure, or even if you're a large company organization, you are in your small little silo or department on anything, and you don't talk to people outside that. And that's unification, is the process to unify, to understand that everything is connected. We have to become much better and build its social capital and social networks in this. And the last part is what we call enableification. For anything to happen, the prominent theory today, when you listen to leaders today, you can just buy and order things. So if you run a country or a city, you have a budget and you allocate budget money for things to happen, but that doesn't. But with little realization that it's going to be take actual people, actual knowledge, actual science, actual machinery, and a lot of fossil fuel energy or electric energy for things to happen. And that is the budget you have, not the money in itself. And how do you enable things to happen? For a thing, for a building to be built, you need energy, you need building materials, you need competent workers, you need plans for that, you need permission to build, and you need like all the things connected together for a building to happen. That's what we can call enableification, and it goes for any event or any project. To enable thing, money is not enough. You have to have all the other pieces to fit together, and that's how you enable a thing to happen. Yeah, a specific moment was when I went to San Francisco for the first time during September 2016, and I met change makers from all over the world coming together. Formerly, I just met people here in Sweden, so that was very specific. I got the energy and the insight that I want to connect with these people, and I want to do this on a global scale. It's a very specific event called Evolution Nordic Impact Week in San Francisco during the SOCAP conference in 2016. So I have still no audio from you, but I can read the questions here. Yeah? Could you share some specific examples of successful projects or initiatives that have emerged from your effort to connect through thought leaders and resources for building a better world? Yeah. The one we're doing right now, we've been doing an online exercise that we call the Glassfit game. It's an exercise in generative dialogue. It's part of a group of exercises that we can call a wisdom gym. Like just like you go to the body gym to train your muscles, you go to the wisdom gym to train your cognition skills and things like that. And as such, Glassby Games is one of the best projects I've been doing. We've been doing it every week online for 4 years now, and almost all of the time it put people in in a listening and a talking mode that we call generative dialogue. That is, you generate ideas and an insight that no one had before going into this conversation. So you do it collectively together with other people. So
All right, sir. Thank you so much for your answer.
yeah,
You can hear me now?
yeah, I can hear you now. Now the audio is back.
All right. So, could you share some specific examples of successful projects or initiatives that have emerged from your efforts to connect thought leaders and resources for building a better world? Oh, I think I asked this question.
Uh,
Sorry. So, how do you see the role of technology and digital platforms in facilitating the kind of connections and learning experiences you advocate for?
Yeah, myself, I'm a very digital person. So I've been online on the internet since 1993, and I made my first amazing cool project in 1993. Actually, before there was the internet, I just found an email address for a student in Hong Kong University. We were going there on a school trip, and I connected and built social capital, built a network of friends before coming there. So when we showed up in Hong Kong, we met up with them and things like that. So that's when I realized that the internet and digital communication is how we combine this well together. So since then, I've been on the internet and social media since then. So it started with um, ICQ and IRC back in '95 as well, and here in Sweden, well before Facebook, we had several digital communities, one called Skunk and one called Lunarstorm, that was similar to Facebook, where 10 years before Facebook was the big thing. So I've been hanging on digital forums and social media platforms for my whole life and connecting people and thoughts and thanks to like Facebook and LinkedIn, of course, I went global and did it all in English in a way that most people do. So I'm a truly digital citizen, and I live my life on the internet most of my days.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for your answer. So, you mentioned building a better world. What, in your view, are some of the most pressing challenges the world faces today, and how can individuals and organizations contribute to addressing them?
Yeah. For my part, we know a lot of not of the problems we have today, but the thing I've been exploring is in my talk about navigating a learning society to understand the root causes and the framing of every how most of the problem are connected. Some call it the meta crisis or the poly crisis and things like that. But going back to what I've learned as a evolutionary leadership, going back to root causes and truly understand how you frame a problem or frame a challenge so it connects to everything else, and understand how energy works, how the biosphere works, and things like that. We go back to that, and that's what I'm trying to do. How can you explain in 1.5 hours how society works? Yeah, like giving a brief overview, but of course this is a is a many year education as well. But that's what I want to do. How can I explain how it all comes together so we can understand root causes and things like that?
All right, great. Thank you so much for your answer.
Mm.
So, as a host, the Captain Future show and podcast, can you highlight some memorable guests or discussions that had a significant impact on your audience?
Yeah, one of my favorite talk was with Douglas Rushkoff. I met him in London 2019 when his book Team Human came out. I have it lying here somewhere. I can go get it here. So and we had a because his thesis is in this book is that if we want to make it on this planet, we the only team we have to join is Team Human. That is us. So it's all of us or none of us. So we have to be together. So I met Douglas when he released his book Team Human in London, and I can recommend anyone digging into it. He doesn't go deep, but he goes into how money works and how social media works and stuff like that. And there's a lot. He leads a lot of gap to fill in for yourself. But the core concept that we are not team AI, we're not team Team West or Team East or things like that. There's no we are on the same biosphere, and it's our planet. It's not we don't divide it. We share it, and we're all part of Team Human. And the core message of the book: you find the others, find the other people who want to do what you want to do. There are people everywhere looking for that have questions, looking for answers, looking for connection. So find the other people and start organize yourself together in Team Human.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for recommend our book,
Mm.
and thank you so much for your answer. So my next question is: in your opinion, what are the key qualities or skills that a leader in the field of future navigation and collaboration should possess?
Yeah, there are many skills. For me, it's humor and silliness. To put any serious topic in perspective, you have to apply a filter of humor and silliness and playfulness for that to to truly work with it, even if it's a serious matter like people and biospheres dying. If you can play with the silliness filter and put things in perspective, you can address the problem in ways that you can see solutions that you otherwise couldn't. So,
All right, great. Thank you so much for your answer. So my next question is: could you share personal anecdote where you collaborate and systematic thinking led to a particular successful outcome or innovation?
yeah, yeah. Of course, from my part is the collaboration between me and Batola. I met him 10 years ago in 2012, 11 years ago now. But in 2015, we went to Norway together, and then we found Carmack Fall in 2017. I actually met 2016, and but we teamed up in 2018 for the Catapult Future Fest in Oslo. And our collaboration and our framework for future navigation is perhaps the most profound thing I've come in contact with. That's why I put so much energy into that. So that collaboration and the free insights between us that came together in this framework for future navigation is very profound for me.
All right. Thank you so much for your answer. So, what advice do you have for individuals who may be hesitant to embrace lifelong learning and collaborative endeavors in an ever-changing world?
Yeah, of course it's not. It comes back to this, like to do make it happen. Find the other people who do that already, like me. Talk to them, hang out with them find them on Zoom, on Discord, on Facebook, whatever digital forum they are. If they're not in your city, find them. If they are in your city or a nearby city, go find them and have a coffee or a dinner or a dance party with them. I dance a lot. I play board games a lot, so very accessible if you want to come to Sweden and dance or play board games with me or just talk about the future. So go find the people and do it together with someone. It's very hard to do these things alone. So, but once you spend time with, it's like Rehan shares this, and I know a lot of people. You become the average of the person you spend time with. So your closest friend or your best colleagues or your most. If you're alone, you can spend time online listening to your favorite people. Even if you heard some of your favorite talks with a person, listen to it again, and you realign your brain with the thinking and the doing of these people.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for your advice, and thank you so much for sharing your valuable insight and
Mm,
experiences with us
mm,
today. It has
yeah.
been an enlightening and inspiring conversation, and we are truly grateful your time and wisdom.
Mm,
And to our viewers, thank you for joining us this exploration of guest, our guest Michael.
mm,
Incredible journey and
mm.
meaningful work they are doing. We hope found this interview as enriching as we did. So before we wrap, I would like to remind you to stay connected with us, more enlightening conversation and inspiring stories. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel and stay updated. Once again, a big thank you to Mr. Michael and to all viewers. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you so
Yeah,
much, sir. If
thank
you say
you.
something.
Yeah, great to be here. uh, so keep up the good work and reach out to more people like me.
All right, sir. Thank you so much
Mm,
for giving me your precious time.
yeah,
Bye. Have a wonderful day
bye.
ahead.